Sserafim is still conceptually fragile, despite claiming to be, anti-fragile, right? It's this symbolism of them standing on the shipping container that is labeled as fragile. Spray painting the word anti before it does not actually change the container's state of fragility, right? It's still just as susceptible to damage as ever. Changing its name doesn't do anything physically, and I think it's the same situation for Sserafim's concept in the end. They are afraid. They are fragile. The notion of being forgiven does matter to them, but they've decided to adopt a lifestyle that is antithetical to all of these things until it becomes reality. I had this thought after watching a Niantic video and discussing it in the comments. I usually walk away from a Niantic video deep in thoughts, and this one has kind of stuck with me for a while. I think Sserafim's concept is centered around them being the things they insist they are not. Like any other human, they are susceptible to fear despite claiming to be fearless. They're still very fragile despite claiming to be anti-fragile. So what is the motive here? Simply put, I think they instill these values in themselves until they somehow or some way become what they desire. They want to be anti-fragile. They speak that into existence, pretend as if they are, and despite being very fragile in the end, have spoken a reality into existence where they move and behave as if they are anti-fragile. They become it by simply believing it to be true, to believing that they can do anything, and that is how they win. And perhaps, like the shipping container, they cannot change their makeup. They'll realistically never get to a point where they are actually anti-fragile, and the, quote, reality where that exists is just them pretending as if they are these things and truly believing in it. We see Unche turn the asteroid about to hit the Earth into a mango. And yes, it is canonically a mango, not a potato, but despite doing that, the asteroid is still coming. It creates a shadow over her as she holds the mango asteroid in her hand. Sserafim doesn't fix problems for the world, they fix problems for themselves. Unche didn't change the nature of the asteroid, she can't stop the disaster that's about to happen, but what she did do is change the outcome of how it's going to impact her personally. That is how she becomes anti-fragile. They become it by believing it to be true, navigating society and the world at large as if it is true, and if they continue down this path long enough, it does become true as the rest of the world begins to bend itself to their own values. The asteroid still hits the Earth in the end, but the mangoification of the event has prepared them to emerge unscathed by the impact. Turning a disaster into something small and insignificant before it actually happens has made them actually anti-fragile. Importantly though, the asteroid still hits them in the end, yet they still persevere through and stand back up genuinely unscathed. No burn marks, bruises, or anything. It seemingly did not impact them, but it did. Preparing themselves for the impact by mangoifying the event didn't stop it physically from happening. And here's where I think the Kintsugi album cover comes into play. Sserafim are fragile. They broke apart in the end. They were hit by the asteroid, but they put themselves back together and created something more meaningful and more beautiful than before. Similar to the art style of Kintsugi, repairing broken pottery by filling the cracks in with gold concedes that the object was broken, but that ultimately helped it in the end to become something more beautiful and meaningful, utilizing the breakage to emerge more resilient, more remarkable than ever. I think that's the ethos of Sserafim at large, wearing the breaks and cracks in your story proudly as if they are gold, becoming what you want to be despite any and all set limitations for you as an individual in society. You are a mess, but you're still the best dressed, right? People may push back and try to limit you, but expect that to happen. Mangoify all of your problems is the lesson to pull, as I see it. But turning your problems into mangoes does not stop the bad things that happen. It's there physically in your hand because it has to happen. Mangoifying the event means that you concede it's probably going to break you, yet you commit to growing and yielding some kind of fruit from the whole situation. Even though it breaks you, finding a way to make it benefit you, to make you stronger by the end. That is how you become anti-fragile. You can never truly shed your fragility. I think Sserafim's message is to utilize it more than anything in a similar way to Kintsugi. The breakage can be an asset to your resolve if you want it to be. And I think that's all from me. My thoughts on anti-fragile and what it means for Sserafim's concept. Thank you for watching. If you did, let me know what you think. If you have any ideas or theories about this, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time.